come and sing this song once more. We are the lads from Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day.
It's Monday evening at 7:30. Welcome to Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Boylesports-Garrison, French polishers, and of course, Image Cleaning and the Garrison Coffee Company. I got it right this week.
Well done.
I know. I've been practising all day, quite honestly.
So proud.
Well, amid the protests and the draw and the defeat, it's not been the best of weeks again for Birmingham City Football Club. However, onwards and upwards we'll go. We'll go to the end of the road and we'll keep on going and going and going. Now, I've got a guy in tonight who is shadowing Chris. It's Dennis Bohemia's young man. What's his first name again, Chris?
Oliver,
of course. Oliver Bohemia.
Who are you? As I say, he's not as ugly as Dennis. So.
We've got our chairman and good friend from down south, Alan Watton.
Good evening, everyone.
We've got Mark Andrew Adams, a.k.a. Mr. Rowe.
Hello, buddy. You okay?
And, of course, as always, the one and only Mr. Sheen. And my good self, and, of course, the one and only Mrs. Browne. Has Craig Courtney caught up with the show or not?
Oh, it's more important.
He's having his tea.
Much more
I've just had to rough it with a chicken sandwich just because I come home from work, mate.
God, I would. You don't have to give us some stick, don't you?
Yeah, I'll try my best, mate. Right, okay, these last two games, and a 2-0 up against Derby County, and then we go and chuck away pretty much right to the death, really. Yeah. Alan, what was your thoughts on that one?
The Derby match.
Oh, hang on, no, sorry, Alan. We've also got Carl Matthews in.
Of course we have.
Oh, my God.
I was waiting for the big build-up.
Welcome, Carl. Sorry, I forgot you.
No, don't worry. Hello, lads.
I don't worry because I don't have a memory. I don't. Everybody knows.
He genuinely doesn't. He hasn't got
I genuinely
a clue.
don't, mate. I really don't. Oh, God, bloody. I have to write down when I need to go to the toilet.
I'm saying it right,
Yeah.
Carl. From Love Vintage, is it Love Vintage Footy?
Lovintage Footy. That's it, yeah. You got it right, Paul.
Nice one. Alan, what was your take on the games? Certainly the Derby game we'll start with.
I mean, we've had a good 10 days to think about that now, but I'm going to be positive. I was very impressed with the way we played. Certainly for an hour, more than an hour probably. The new guys looked good. We scored 2 very, very well executed goals. And, you know, bar for the last 10 minutes, you know, if that goal had been disallowed, we'd have been euphoric about the results, you know. And unfortunately, it drains your enthusiasm to be, I won't say cheated, but to be so unlucky, you know. But if you've been a Birmingham City fan as long as I have, unlucky is
a very long time, ladies and gentlemen.
Something you have to live with, you know.
It's a hell of a long time.
Almost as long as Linda's been alive.
Exactly.
Yes, but you know, I mean, I'm sitting here, right? My son surprised me. He come up for the weekend from Poole, and he rang me. He says, "Dad, what are you doing tonight?" I said, "I'll probably watch the game at home because I'll meet you there." And I was like, "Oh, great, brilliant!" And you know, we live up this way as well, so it's a difficult one for us to swallow. That, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I think we followed on from that on Friday night. You know, it was again pretty good for an hour. And then we have a controversial. I mean, the first one was just you know, they cut us apart. To be brutally honest.
Yeah.
But the second one, you know, we can sit and talk here forever about was he or wasn't he, or was he interfering, wasn't he? But it wasn't. It could have gone either way, and it doesn't go our way. Does it ever go our way? Really?
I just think back to Forest at home, 2-0 down, Hogan scores, he's onside, he's given offside. Hull away, the ball's out of play by about that much, you know, and everyone stops playing, the ball comes back, it hits their player, it goes in the net, you know. Derby away, goals offside. Friday night, goals offside.
Not only offside, Paul, but a shove in the back and 4 people offside and a high foot. And a high foot.
Yeah. Very high foot.
Ridiculous.
you add up all these points that we'd probably be better off by now if the decisions were right in our. And I'm not saying there isn't any that have gone against us that were, that or gone in our favour that were, that were wrong. I mean, obviously, you can say Mengi probably would have had a red card and they would have got a penalty at Derby as well. But I think if you weighed it up, law of odds is that it doesn't weigh up in our favour. There's a lot.
But we've got to learn, Paul, to lock the back doors when we're ahead. We've got to learn that defence wasn't good enough.
No. But we do need the officials to stop making so many mistakes, because there's too many mistakes in our games made that are costing us. There'll be more I haven't mentioned over the season, and I reckon we'd be at least 8 points better off now without them stupid mistakes.
You're probably right, actually. Right.
I think it's the worst season ever. I think it's the worst one we've ever had. I know we don't want to moan about officials, but I do genuinely think it's the worst season we've ever had this run of.
What, for officials? Yeah.
It's been absolutely awful.
Bring back Clive Thomas, Alan.
I've got to go back a few years now, but I speaking to people, especially referees that I used to know, there was a genuine dislike of Birmingham City from the referees, and it was based on all sorts of things. Some thought they got a bit of, what was his name, Styles. He didn't like us because he was useless, and we let him know. He genuinely was not to me obviously, but a friend of a friend, that he didn't like coming to Birmingham. He didn't like it, and there were other people, who thought that the facilities weren't up to scratch, and we had to employ a guy. The referee's facility. We had to employ a guy.
Nothing was up to scratch, mate. Nothing was up to scratch.
No.
They had to employ a guy to look after him. He'd turn up and make sure they got a cup of tea and blah 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 blah. Because this rumour got about that the referees weren't happy, so we did something about it. But didn't make the decisions come any better. And I mean, Mr. Styles got thrown off the league eventually for an incident that happened at St Andrews. What he did when he was waiting, there was a lad that they were doing the tour while he was getting warmed up, and this lad, right, first game, little blue hat on, and he nicked his hat, right, trying to be playful, and his dad, who was with him, told Styles, in no uncertain terms, that he didn't like that. So he reported our club to the FA because this chap took exception to this Styles messing around with his kid's hat.
Pinch my kid's hat, I'd chop your arms off.
Well, exactly. And this guy controlled himself and just told him, would you mind not doing that? And we got reported. Now, Mr. Styles never came to Birmingham again. I don't think he did many games after that, because when the story came out, he was retired. But where else could that happen? It can only be us.
Of course it is.
Imagine him doing that at Tottenham or Liverpool. Not. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well,
going back to Roger Wiseman in the Stoke game.
Oh,
How bad
terrible.
was that? I know we shouldn't have rioted. That's obvious. But if ever there was going to be a riot, it was going to be that day, because that bloke was so incompetent. Should never have been put on that match. It was such an explosive encounter anyway for all the history between the two teams, and they put a clown on the job. Doesn't work, does it?
But going back to Friday, I thought, it was probably a draw. Probably would have been a fair result. It was it was an arm wrestle, wasn't it? I've got to say, Bakuna looks a player, and you have to ask how he couldn't get in Rangers' team. If he's looking this good in the Championship, in the Scottish League, I think he would have been a world beater, to be honest, looking at him.
Yeah.
But
We got him.
Yeah, again, took longer term, and he looks like he's got a lot of quality about him, doesn't he? And I thought Taylor took his goal really well.
We've got to sign Taylor, haven't we? Because he's just quality. I really like him already.
I don't know what our funds are, but for me as well, Hernandez, he's another must sign as well.
Yeah.
He's a really good player, isn't he, as well? He just gets us on the break much quicker, doesn't he, with his pace? But I didn't agree with Gary Gardner to the left though, and him in the middle. I would have swapped him over before we even kicked off. To be honest, you know, I think Hernandez has to play out on the left. It's his best position, and he cuts in on his right. He's even scored the one goal in the one game doing that.
Yeah.
So he was
I thought Gardner looked lost. Certainly for the first hour or so, he looked lost.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's his best position, is it, Hernandez? And Gary Gardner's obviously a central midfielder, box to box. So I didn't understand starting with that, I'll be honest. But overall, I thought a draw would have been fair. But you know, in the end, it was another decision that went against that was wrong, unfortunately.
But it just deflates us so many times, and it's like you're sitting here going, you know what, we've got this. We were screwing Derby left, right, and centre, and then all of a sudden they made two very, very good substitutions with two very good players, and if they'd have started, I don't know how many of those scored between them. To be honest with you,
can I just say as well?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Can I just say, with Derby, I think a poor game management as well was key for that.
Yeah.
Because he bought Taylor off for George Friend.
Yeah.
We had Juki sat on the bench, so you could see exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to hold on to what we had, but just by inviting the pressure on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But you can understand. Sorry, you can understand it 10 minutes before the end, but not 22 minutes.
I can't remember if we conceded one by that point or not, but he could just see what he was trying to do, which I'm not one to normally knock what Bowyer does, but it was poor management.
Yeah.
Oliver, the thing is, you've got to be honest and you've got to be truthful, and it's your opinion, and you are absolutely 100% entitled to it, mate.
I agree with it as well. That's exactly what I said at the time. Anyway, welcome, Carl.
Can I just say to Craig? Just say to Craig, if you can hear another voice, Craig, it's Oliver. It's Dennis's young lad, my nephew.
Oh, was Craig Courtney decided to turn up?
Yeah. He's had his tea.
Welcome, Christ. Very welcome, Mr. Craig Courtney. What did you have for your dinner?
Oh well, you know, just a few barbecue ribs, bit of rice, you know, just a nice healthy meal, mate.
He's had his turkey dinosaurs.
What about your tea, Craig? Was that
Homemade.
1 o'clock? What you having for your tea then?
That was just start, so I've left the missus cooking downstairs.
So you've not bought Chinese then?
You're breaking up, Nick.
No?
You're breaking up.
Okay, all right. I'm breaking up.
You're breaking up.
You're cracking up, Nick.
You're cracking up. I've just seen a post, Alan.
In your garden, holding the pencil.
To say that Roger Wiseman is one of the heads of the FA Referees Association now.
Is he?
How did he get that job?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Anyway, we better welcome our special guest, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Craig, sorry.
Oh, welcome to the show, mate. So tell us a bit about Lovintage Footy and how it all started for you and how you came to, like, you know, sort of start doing that, and then suddenly you got Troy Deeney styling the Dolly Mixture shirt, haven't you, next minute?
Yeah, I have. Well, basically one day I was scrolling Twitter and I saw this bloke and he had a massive collection, and it just took me back to my childhood, really. And I thought, I need to get these tops. Because as a kid, you have tops and then you don't realise where they go as you grow up. They just disappear somehow.
Same here,
And literally, from that day when I saw that collection, I just started collecting one by one. And then before you know it, I've ended up with loads of tops. So my collection now is like quite big.
How big?
Got about 400 shirts now.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's a fair few.
Yeah.
Not all Blues, Carl.
Well, it was at the start just Birmingham City, but I've ventured out into other clubs now. So like I do like Man United, Liverpool, everyone I can get out of. But Blues is the priority one. I've got the most Blues, and I, like Paul says, I met Troy Deeney. He had a few tops off me, and it just spiraled up.
So is it a business, is it, Carl? Is it like your business now, yeah?
Yeah, I do it on my own. I'm the only one who does it. My missus does help out with like the packaging and that, but everything is all me, like my website, everything, like speaking, doing my social media, everything like that is all me. But it's my side business. What I've started up. It's kind of taken off really, but I still work full time, so you can imagine it gets really busy.
What do you do full time?
I work at Land Rover, Jaguar Land Rover.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Are you one of the ones at 9 o'clock at night when we finish the talk show that drives out that?
No, I don't drive out
like a madhead.
No, I'm not one of those. I know what you mean, though. There is a lot of them that drive out like maniac.
Load line.
Honestly, I come out Damson, so it can't be me. So I'm out the other end.
Out of all your prized possession, which is the one you would never sell?
It's the Blues one.
Gotta be.
Yeah, the Birmingham City. We had a kit that was released 1992-93.
Yeah.
And the Kumars were in charge at that time, I believe. And they brought out a kit in pre-season, but they started producing it and then they stopped making it, and then they changed it to the paint strip. They had like a paint effect, 92-93.
Yeah.
And then the pre-season one, it's got like string, and it feels a bit like a bib, and it's very hard to get hold of. It took me a year and a half. I've literally about 5 months ago just got hold of it, so it's one top I wouldn't sell.
Oh, people are asking the same question that I've just noticed on there.
Actually, we need to put that back to the people then, Chris. What's your favourite piece of memorabilia that you got for Birmingham City Football Club? There you go.
Yeah, that's good. And Stephen says, what is your most valuable shirt?
Most valuable? It'd probably be that one, because I wouldn't accept anything for it because I love it that much. I've been after it for that long. I'm going to frame it eventually. If I do get another one.
The fact that you do love it, right, and it's yours, it's your property, but what value would that shirt, how much did it cost you for a start?
Well, I bought 35 tops in a bundle, and that cost me £900, so singly, I saw that same top go on eBay for £430 the last time it was on eBay. So
I think we're all going to get jobs at Land Rover now.
Yeah, pretty good.
But I don't earn a penny off it at the moment. Everything I make, I just buy more tops, put straight back into the business, really. So just
more like a hobby then, mate.
Yeah, it is a hobby. It is more of a side. Like, I just enjoy it. Like, the postman must hate me because my missus is waiting in the morning and there's delivery after delivery. But I love it when I come home and I can see all the tops that I'm trying to get hold of. And then when I get home from work, it's a bit of a buzz, like, because obviously I've loved football since I was a little kid. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I had my day not long a couple of weeks ago as well, because unfortunately I didn't get the shirt. The season we won the League Cup, I didn't get the actual shirt at the start of the season, and after we won it, obviously I couldn't get one for Toffee, so Carl managed to get one for me, so I'm over the moon with that. So I had it on the show. I had it on the show the other week, didn't I? So and then I've also had the '98 away red one off you, haven't I, as well?
Yeah, it's a nice top. That's a hard one to get hold of.
Yeah,
I've got the I've got about seven or eight signed shirts, but the penguin strip one. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
Right. Okay, what's the value of that?
Which one are you on about? Is the one 96, 97, or the one before that?
I'll go and fetch it.
So, Carl, are these all original shirts?
Originals.
They're not reproductions.
No, not reproduction. I don't collect reproduction. I just do original only. From the year they were made. Yeah, I don't do the retros. The thing with the originals as well, like, they hold the value of the shirt.
Yeah.
So obviously people want the real thing, don't they?
Yeah.
So some people like the retros, but me personally, I like having the top, like, from the season they were made.
All right. So you only sell originals, yeah.
Yeah, only originals.
And is it just shirts you sell? Nothing or anything else?
Well, I've got a few shorts coming not long ago, so I'm going to start selling shorts as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but they're the original shorts. I've got a few football.
Do you do gin and tonic, mate?
Yeah, I can if you want me to.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
2002, 2013, 14, that is.
Oh, sorry, I can't see it. Oh yeah, Nikola Zigic.
Yeah,
Nikola Zigic
yeah.
era.
Tyler Blackett.
Yeah,
Tyler
great
Blackett.
defender.
Nice shirt, those.
What would you value at that at?
12 quid.
Signed shirt, that one. Probably get about £60 to £70 for that one signed.
No, I ain't vlogging it.
You know who to come to if you need to vlog it.
I won't vlog it. I've got a museum
I
to
don't
Birmingham
blame
City. I promise I've got a museum to Birmingham City Football Club. I've got a room completely dedicated, and all my stuff's in there, mate. And I'll tell you what, it's every memory that I've ever got.
Yeah,
So
fair play. Yeah.
Carl, in your life so far, and this goes out to everyone watching and everyone here now.
Yeah.
You could relive one season that you've lived through again once more. What would you go back and relive? What season? Just one season.
You know what? It's actually the season we was on about earlier. When we played Villa and we beat them 3-0, the Enkelman moment. It'd probably be that one because I had my first season ticket that year. I sat in the railway and I just remember Gary coming in and I just loved it. Like every minute of that season, it was like my first season I had a season ticket. So I'd have to say that season, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think it'd be. I think 2001-02 when we finished up going up, in Cardiff.
That's a great.
It's just, that was magical. I mean, the Carling Cup was special, obviously, but that was over, of course, the whole season. And to culminate and going up was amazing. But
Especially after score so many times as well, wasn't it? That was the fourth time of asking in the playoffs. Yeah. What about you, Alan?
72, I think. 71, 72 when we got promoted.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It was semis as well against Leeds.
Semi-final of the cup.
Yeah, against Leeds. Yeah.
And it was, Trevor at his best, and Bob Latchford, and it was. I missed the last game at Orient. I had to play that night because. If I didn't, we were in the final at Villa Park. And if I didn't play that night, then I wouldn't have been picked for the final. So I had to play, and we won the final. So, yes, there's so many memories in that season. Fantastic. When we beat Portsmouth 6 in the cup. And then I think we played them twice in a fortnight, and we beat them 6 one week and 3 or 4 the next week, and it was just we played great football and we had great players. 72 definitely.
Pete Taylor's got some good memorabilia. He said, "I've got all the galvanising that was meant to be used for the Tilton and Cop structural supports." How much is that worth? Dave Twine says, "I've got the black and grey striped shirt. Seen one online for sale, second hand, £156.
Really? I've got one of those signed as well.
Yeah, Steve Portman's got the Carling Cup shirts. Pete Taylor's got the 2011 home shirt signed by the team. That'd be a good one.
What about you, Chris? One season that you want to...
I couldn't pick one, but I suppose the Carling Cup. I'll never forget that.
Relegated that season as well.
Yeah, I know, but it was still one of them seasons. Even for the wrong reason, you're never going to forget.
Nah.
Shane's got a framed Jude Bellingham top he signed for me while I was working in his house. That'll be worth something one day when he wins his first World Cup.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Craig, what about you? One season to relive?
Ooh, it's a toss-up actually between two. It'd be the same as Mark. But I also liked that second time we came up when we finished second to Sunderland in the league, because it was one of those seasons where we played beautiful football. Good old Phillips up front, the goal poacher. It was just great. Everybody gelled that season, and I think that was a good one. So it'd be a toss up between those two.
Yeah, I like as well when someone mentioned it earlier when Larson scored the solo goal against Sheffield.
Solo goal.
Yeah.
You know, that was a good season as well.
I will.
But, Nick, what about you?
Probably.
I can't remember.
No, well, I can remember a long time ago, Chris, but I can't remember the date. One of my
1901, 1902, Nick, yeah?
Oh, God.
1890.
He's got the knickerbockers.
You horrible people. Horrible people. Right. I'm going to say, I'm not sure, but I think it was 1975, 76. The first time that I saw them from up the street come and play at St Andrews with all them pink and blue balloons that they had in the field.
Yeah.
And we beat them. And I remember my dad always telling me, you know, just take your feet off the floor on the way out and you'll just get carried out. And it was like, I just kind of jumped up and everybody squished me and I was floating on mid-air. I was floating after we just stuck the villa. I'm not allowed to say that word. Horrible word. Horrible
he's done it himself.
But I think that was a great one. And of course, like, there were many when I used to go with my brothers, my cousins, my uncles, my dad, and, you know, loads of us used to meet there every week. And then, of course, you've got the Carling Cup final. My first ever Wembley visit with Blues was down at the Leyland Daft Cup final, and I've got my mug up there on the top, commemorating that one. Going to Brentford and seeing Simon Storey score away to put us into my team, Birmingham City at Wembley, was unheard of as I was a child, and it happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times in my lifetime. Once at Cardiff, obviously. Twice at Cardiff. Oh, three at Wembley, isn't it? Yeah. So it's fine. Yeah. So I've been to major cup finals, even though you don't think that the Leyland Daft Cup final was a major cup final. To me, it was the World Cup final because to me, my team, Birmingham City, had gotten to Wembley, and I just couldn't believe it. And that overhead kick by John Gale. Wow, memories, beautiful memories.
Nick, both me, you, and probably Alan. I don't know if he went to the no, he's not that old, but we're unique. We've not seen Blues lose at Wembley.
No, neither have I.
No, that's true.
I suppose, because we all been to Leyland Daft, yeah.
I've been 3 times,
Yeah.
91, 95 and 2011.
Yeah.
I lost at Wembley in 2011, gets to the top of the stairs and my sister goes, "Oi, double gin and tonic."
Quite a few people have said 95, Barry Fry, the double season with Barry Fry.
That was fun year.
Yeah, it was a fun year. That was,
brilliant.
Right, yeah.
The grass bank at Wigan. Oh, beautiful.
I enjoyed Trevor's first season as a manager for us when we had Devlin and Furlong partnership up front, which scored loads of goals between them, especially Devlin. He scored like about 19 that season. You know, we had Gary Ablett at the back then. God bless him, with Steve Bruce.
Yeah, rest his soul.
You know, and you know, so yeah, we've had some good. You know, it's good to reminisce because we've had some good times as well. You know.
Yeah, we are.
Thinking of sorry, Paul. Thinking of Steve Bruce, and I've not been in touch with the news or anything today. Is there any movement?
Only in his house.
The local. Any movement with the local vacancy?
Oh no, he signed. Yeah.
I think right. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been out of it today, and I've had my noggin cut. Look at this. I've had my noggin.
Yeah, no,
yeah. All the way into Derby to go and get my hair cut today from Adam the barber. He's my son. Not advertised or anything, but he's in between the Cafe Nero and the bookshop opposite Primark in Derby. And if you want your haircut, go online and you can book your haircut if you live up that way. And you know, there's one marvellous job he does. Look at it. I'm an old bloke like me.
What do we think?
Great job of colouring the grey, Nick. I've got to say, he's done a fantastic job with the grey.
And he does. Well, he's a professional. He's a professional. Craig, I don't know what you expect. I think you ought to go, Craig, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, mine's just form, mate. I'm following form.
No, Paul, you're booked in on Monday morning.
Graham says the 2001 was a good season. Ipswich atmosphere and the cup final.
Yeah.
Was, yeah.
Also, Jason Yu says 79-80 season. My first season because nothing ever beats your first match.
Not at all, no. Thanks to Stephen Gill, 18-month contract for Bruce. Nice one, thank you. Ashley Price, hashtag BSHL out. No, says it all.
Steve Portman says, I've not seen us lose at Wembley either, only because I've not seen us at Wembley.
Ray Hobro says Nick and Jeremy could be twins. Come on, Blue!
Yeah.
Poor Jeremy.
What was your first game, Carl?
I think it was Port Vale at home. I'm not sure. I was really young. I think I was about 4 years old, probably 97. But I remember it was Port Vale at home.
When I was 4. I can remember everything when I was 4. I can't remember yesterday, man.
All I remember is him shouting, "Who are you? Who are you?" I can't remember exactly, but I remember it was Port Vale at home. That was my first game. It must have been about 97, something like that. But I was really young. My uncle used to set me down all the time. So, yeah, it was definitely Port Vale.
Yeah. I want to ask as well, what's everyone's thoughts on the new sort of look St Andrews from the outside with the badge obviously on there twice and all the sort of pictures of all previous players and stuff, you know? I thought that was quite... I think that's quite...
I liked it. I like the look of it.
Long overdue. Now let's do the back of the railway with something as well. It'd be nice to get the badge on the back of there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, oh, mate, yeah. Pete, sorry, going back to the haircut, Pete Taylor said he's done the fringe a bit short, Nick. He's put no E on it, so he's spelt the fringe a bit short, hasn't he, really?
Is that yours, Howard?
Yeah, I just don't get why we can't have the badge on our football club on the outside of the Gilmerick. I don't get it.
Well, I think from what I saw Friday, the crane's still there, and I think they're only after what they're doing. So I think there's more to come on that. So I'm hoping it will carry on round.
I hope so.
Yeah, it'd be good.
See it from town, yeah.
I don't know if we've got enough. We have got enough ex-players that are worth putting up, haven't we, around the whole stadium? But obviously, about years, ain't you? I don't think there'll be many from the last 10 years.
I've scored a goal at the Tilton, by the way, once.
Have you?
Go on, then.
Yeah. Do I get my banner up with my belly?
It's a family show now.
Who deserves to go up on the stadium if they're going to carry on doing this? From the last 10 years, who deserves to go up there? I would say Robbo.
Robbo, definitely. Juki?
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that, yeah.
Yeah.
Adams.
Bellingham's already up there.
Bellingham, yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you think, Oliver?
I don't know, to be honest. What I was saying, I was speaking to a couple of my mates about this. You have to think, why have they done it now? Like, with all the protests going on, have they, like, is it a way to try and deter people away from the protest?
Oliver, I'll ask you a question, Oliver. What's your take on the protest, Oliver?
As a youngster.
We've been there.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I want the owners out as much as anyone else does. But you can see what they're trying to do, but I can't see it happening. Like, they're trying to do something. They're trying to make the club work. But I think they've already gone past the point now where I think fans are just fed up with it. What is it you think they're trying to do? Run a football club, but they're just not doing it very well.
Right. Okay. So do you think it's gone past the issue of trust? And trust is a massive thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gone past that point.
Yeah, I think they've just done too many. They've taken too many wrong turns, made too many wrong choices, and I think they've just run out of time.
Oliver, I can't believe you've got a deep voice, mate, to be honest with you.
His dad's.
I saw a podcast with Almagier and Mark Watson, but I like the way Almagier put it. It's like getting an app up to them. It's like, you know, you get an app on your phone, like say you get a game on your phone and it's an app, and you can pay to add bits to it. And in the end, you just get bored and you stop adding things to it, don't you? And you stop bothering with it. And that's kind of like what's happened with the owners with us, in a way. And now they're suddenly shown an interest again since the protest. So I think the protests are working. But I think that we're, you know, if we can get someone better in, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping all these protests will get in front of somebody that, you know, is keen to buy a football club, that can run a football club properly and make us better. But then
don't you think it would put people off though?
No, because I think because they want to see the passion. We
Yeah.
want our football club back. We want it on good terms. We want it managed. We want it run properly, and we want it structured. That's all we want as football fans. Now, a small question here for the older generation in the room. So it's Paul and Alan.
What are you saying? Nick, what are you saying?
I like you, Nick.
I'm cranked up. I'm sorry. Oh, my God, I can't even remember what I was going to say now. All right. Move on.
Can I just say, the protest has got us publicity, and people all over the country now know that there is a problem at Birmingham City. A fortnight ago, nobody had a clue. We've even had one of our MPs for Lady Wood bring it up in the House of Commons. Now we've moved. They're up. You know, they've talked about this. The guy from Newcastle being interested. Well, that's just paper talk. But at least it's paper talk that is good publicity. We don't particularly want him, but it's, you know, somebody's going to look at that and say, oh, is there a problem at Birmingham City? Oh, they don't want to touch him, blah, blah. They're just talking about us. And that's great. And so far, you know, it's gone without any problems. I'd minor little, you know, there was a 15-year-old lad arrested for pushing a policeman. A 15-year-old lad, I mean, come on.
No. Alan, if I'd have pushed a copper,
of course.
If I'd have pushed a copper when I was a kid, I would have been mortified. Right?
And you'd have had a clip around here as well.
And I'll tell you what, not only that, Chris, but I'll tell you what, by the time my old man found out about it, I've got to be gambowling.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, I don't forget, mate.
Yeah, but as I say, it's you know, for somebody who lives a long way away, you know, I can tell you that people around the country know what we're talking about now. It's not just a private thing in Birmingham. It's a nationwide thing now, which
it is
must
now
be doing us good.
They saw the faceless masks on TV. They saw the white faceless masks on TV. The whole world had access to that. Yeah, the whole world. And who is Mr. King?
Yeah,
who is Mr. King?
Is there a Mr. King?
The other thing with these protests is the protests have got to stay reasonable, because I'm all in favour of the protests. But, I mean, firstly, we were extremely lucky on Friday, because the referee at any point during that first 10 minutes could have blew the whistle.
The whistles, yeah.
There's now...
And that would have been another massive fine for the club again. Yeah. Another massive fine for the club.
Well, this weekend, the talk is at the moment, and it's all being advertised.
Tennis balls, aren't there?
Throw a tennis ball on the pitch. I mean...
That's going to be...
What's that going to achieve, though?
And the other thing is, we risk injury in our own players. I mean, if a player starts on a tennis ball, they go flying.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just got to be... It's got to be run right. It's got to stay calm and get voices heard. Don't go over the top.
For me, Craig, it's keep the marches going from New Street to St Andrews, congregate in the car park, make some noise, show your disapproval, but don't do anything stupid.
Just one thing quickly.
You know, support the team when you're inside the ground. Shout, scream, do whatever you want outside. That's absolutely fine. I just don't agree with it being inside the ground. I think it's when it's outside. That's absolutely fine.
And if we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. If we draw, we draw. Do not take it out on Lee Bowyer and the players, right? Because this isn't their fault.
Just quickly, say we're in a position where the owners do leave now. Say tomorrow they're up, like they left. How are you going to attract a new owner to come?
I don't know, but I'll pay their airfare. I'll pay their airfare, Ollie. I promise you.
But that's the problem you've got. Then you're in 100 millions of debt, or however much it is. Who's going to want to buy that?
Somebody buy it for £1.
Well, yeah, but they've got to buy the training ground, the ground back. They've got
£2.50. £2.50. Chris Browne, £2.50. You can afford a couple of quid, can't you, Chris? Which is a good way.
It'd all have to be negotiated, wouldn't it? Obviously, they wouldn't pay the whole £120 million debt. I don't think. I think they'd have to.
Yeah.
It'd all have to be negotiated, and then obviously they've got to buy St Andrews as well because we don't own that either.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't see anyone in their right mind who would want to come into the mess, if I'm being honest.
See, if you create a business, right, and your business model is this and your business plan is that, and you don't fulfil your expectations, i.e. you make a loss, then the inevitable has to happen, doesn't it? And would anybody take administration?
Something similar to this happened at Leicester 20 years ago, and look where they are now, you know, and the owners come and flip the coin completely over. And, you know, if someone out there has got the money to do it, they've certainly got the foundations, they've got the fans, they've got the city, they've got the whole club there, you know, it's just all there ready waiting for someone to come in to grab hold of it and take it forward.
Well, you and I know, we all know that we can fill that stadium. We all know. And we can't even fill half a stadium at the minute.
Yeah, I know. We know, yeah.
It's graceful.
We know all that, but, you know, hopefully it'll be resolved for next season. And imagine starting next season with being able to fill the stadium with new owners as well. You know, we've got...
Imagine next season with the stadium repaired and still only 13,000 turning up.
Well, just to reverse the question then.
Yeah, go on.
Would you take current owners if you knew who they were, taking into account that they are actually, at this present moment, they're bankrolling the club. You know, we're making a loss, but we're still going. So if
But then you have to ask the owners, Craig. You have to ask the owners, why are we making a loss?
We're making a loss because we can't fill the stadium, can we?
Yeah. Nobody coming in.
Nobody coming in. We've got players on stupid salaries that at the end of the season will drop off.
Like all clubs, we're not the only one.
Yeah,
I'd say 80% of clubs are making a loss.
Craig, you can't relax with these owners, mate. They've made good decisions. You know, they've bought Gary Monk in. They've bought Lee Bowyer in. They put Craig Gardner in his role. But you can't relax with them. You know, you're just waiting for something to just happen to completely press the.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know,
the self-destruct button, Paul. I get that, mate. Yeah.
Press that.
Here's a scenario. Okay, so they decide to up and leave Friday. That's it. We've had enough. We don't want to do this anymore. We ain't going to take this crap. What happens? I mean, who pays the stadium rent? Who pays the wages?
I've no idea.
I know. I just wonder how does it work?
This is where we needed Tim Andrews.
Yeah, I'll talk to the devil.
Because they could.
Tim's just actually asked how many championship clubs are making a profit.
Not many.
I wouldn't say many.
Not many.
Hi, Tim, and welcome to Tilton Talk Show. I didn't even know you was on, mate, but I did say what I said, and I did mean it, mate.
If any, I bet there's not. I bet it's a very, very few.
But how many champions? I mean, I know Derby are in the state they're in, but apart from that, after that, the next who's in the next most debt? Is it us?
Got to be.
Crikey! I'd say we're in more debt than Derby.
We are.
I think we're in a worse position than Derby.
I mean, even Forest are flying, but they're not Rose, they're Forest.
No.
Mark. Question for Mark.
They've just dipped into the loan market.
Yeah, you, Mark, go to work every week. Yeah, and you earn a certain amount of money. I'm not going to ask you how much that is. But we all know. And you go shopping on a Friday night with your wife and Litlands, right? And you bring in, let's assume you bring in £100 a week, right? And you go shopping and you spend £200 on your credit card. Okay, that's bad management.
Yeah, 100%.
Bad management. You cannot spend what you haven't got, right? And why Harry Redknapp was allowed to spend what we hadn't got and get us into this mess in the first place and walk away with over £1 million into his lovely, beautiful house in Sandbanks, just down the road from where my son lives in Paul in Dorset, I will never, ever know. I'm just taking my socks off.
I don't think you can blame Harry for that, though. Obviously, that's what he agreed. Of
course not,
No, I don't. I do.
Can't be blaming for it.
I do, Paul, and I don't. I blame the whole management structure for looking at a business and saying, you know what, we're going to throw all the money that we can at this to try and that's what Derby have done, right, to try and get out of this division.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't work. And we caught 9 points deducted. Had to resort to beating Fulham on the last day. I mean, could you imagine that if it was this season? Huh?
The thing is, Wolves did exactly the same thing, but they're
They got away with it.
off.
Yeah, got away with it.
But
Yeah.
if they hadn't have been promoted, they'd have been in as much debt as what we are now.
And that's what it is.
scary.
People gambled, didn't they? They threw everything at it, you know,
Right, Chris Browne, you're
knowing what's going to happen.
Chris Browne, you're a businessman.
Am I?
Do you
Oh, yeah.
gamble with your business?
No.
No. So you plan,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes.
You allocate,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes.
You deliver, and you
Yes.
get paid, right?
I do. Yeah.
But if you're employing 20 cleaners, at silly scenario, £10 a day, that's 200 quid, right?
Yep.
20 cleaners, right?
Yeah.
You've got to charge out more than that 200 quid to be able to finance yourself, your home,
Yes.
your accountant, your taxman, and all the cleaning equipment they've got. Yeah, where was the business plan? Who put it together? What was it?
The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is their business plan.
Yeah,
That's
but
where they're
that's too
making
far
money.
away, mate, isn't it? It's too far away from home.
Don't forget, they came in when no others came in, right? And they said from the offset, they are there to sell this business. That's what they do. They buy and sell businesses.
Well, they're not very clever at it, in my opinion.
But yeah, and they've got nothing. They've got no footballing brains.
They've got no interest in football.
They've got no interest.
Ollie, I can tell you now, mate. Right? They didn't understand football. They did not
Oh, no
understand
chance.
the commerce of football. They had no clue, zero,
I
none
think
whatsoever. And it's bit them in the backside. And the quicker they go, the better.
I think they thought, oh, we'll buy this club area of fans. Like there's loads of fans on the books and stuff, and you know, big stadium. You know, let's get them in the Premiership, and we'll flog them. That's all they're thinking.
Can I just say, I'm 43 years old now, and
Oh, you look a lot older.
I know,
You do. You look older than Linda.
Oh,
you look older
crikey.
than Linda, mate, honestly.
Oh,
It's been a Blues fan, mate. You put
Let your hair drop out, doesn't it?
yeah. But in that time, in that 43 years, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've only been financially stable once under one owner, and that was Sullivan and the Golf.
Sullivan and the Golf, 100%.
Yeah.
Is that the same in your life, Alan?
Clifford Coombs came in the middle of the 60s and put us right.
Yeah.
And probably got us where we were in the early 70s. But then he went and died,
yeah.
which was rather a bad move. And of course, his sons weren't interested.
Yeah, Keith was it.
They just carried it on out of, you know.
That's it, yeah.
And then, of course, they sold. I can't remember it. They sold it to Ken
Weldon.
Ken Weldon, yeah. The scrap metal.
You know, they might as well have sold it to the
A scrap corporation. They sold a football club to a scrap.
Anyway, Cole.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Player at Blues so far in your life, and your favourite ever goal you've seen live scored by us.
Say that again, Paul.
So, favourite ever Blues player in your life so far that you've seen, and also your favourite ever Blues goal that you've witnessed live.
It'd have to be Gary, because that, like I said, on a personal note, it was like my first season I had a season ticket, and he was just unbelievable when he come in.
Yeah.
And goal, it'd have to be Obafemi Martins against Arsenal in the final, because obviously, when am I going to see that again? You know what I mean? When it might not be in my lifetime. You don't know, but it's got to be that goal for me, definitely.
It certainly won't be in mine, Alan's, Chris's, or Paul's.
Yeah, it's got to be that one.
But what a moment! What a moment to savour.
I know. Everyone wrote us off that day.
Yeah, they did.
Do you know
Wherever you were sat in that ground, or stood, wherever you were stood in that ground, your personal angle and your personal view of that goal is etched into your memory forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should go slow motion.
I was just thinking, have you got any thoughts, Carl, on the present situation?
I agree with the protest. Just like Paul and the other lads were saying, just keep it like professional, really. Do you know what I mean? Don't do anything stupid. Just get your voice heard and keep doing what you're doing. I think eventually they will be drove out. But like you said, what's going to happen when they do pack up and leave? Like, I can't understand. what's going to happen from then on. Like, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
But the fans drove Sullivan and Gold.
I know, yeah.
The
And that
fans
was
drove them out. And we have never, ever been the same
Recovered.
since. Right?
No.
We've never recovered. When the Golds and Sullivans came in,
yeah,
they built us 3/4 of a new stadium. Huh?
I know. But the West Ham fans are the same with Sullivan and Gold. I think there still are a few of them. Do you know what I mean? I can't understand it. Like, I'd love to be in their position now.
It's less than 12 months now that
Exactly.
they wanted them out.
Yeah, and look,
protests and that.
They're pushing on like European football. They've got like some great players. They had Lingard on loan. They've got Declan Rice. Like, do you know what I mean? They're not done a you know what I mean? Look, coming from where we are, look what they're doing. They can't be like disheartened.
They've bid 150 million in January. Obviously, none of the players came off, but they've got them. You know, there's
money
exactly there.
Yeah, it's that steady club, aren't they? Like stable.
Yeah,
I'd rather be stable than going in decline.
It's ever so easy to be stable when you don't pay for your stadium.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
And
mate.
you know what? You're sat there, and we're sat here, and everybody's sat where they are, and we've paid for their stadium.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Look,
I remember being at a shareholders meeting when David Sullivan actually said that we had built the railway end. You know, he said, none of this money to build this was mine. It was yours. And he said, you know, and I only ever sat in the damn thing once.
Had your money's worth then, couldn't you?
$5,000.
Well, you got Alan. Nowadays, then, because obviously you was in block 28, weren't you? Before, obviously, you weren't allowed to be.
Sorry?
Was you still in block 28? Just sat in front of where I used to sit behind you before, obviously, it was shut, closed, the lower cup.
Oh, I thought when you said Paul they weren't allowed to be, I thought he was chucked out.
No.
And in order.
You're usually drunk.
I tell you, the only time I sat in it, it was a Boxing Day match. I got the two kids at home from university, and they had my two seats in the cop, and I bought myself. I said, well, I've never sat behind there, so I bought myself a seat on the railway end.
Did you go up
the
or
game
lower?
from there, and we lost.
Upper or lower, Alan?
In the lower.
Oh, that upper is one hell of a view. There's a lift up. It's all right. You'll be all right, mate. I tell you what. You take the stairs, and I'll take the lift. No. We were raised differently.
Yeah, I sat up in the Gilmerrick once, and it reminded me of Sensible Soccer, the old 90s computer.
Yeah.
It's a great view. I think it's a great view.
Yeah, it is a good view.
Alan, where are you sitting now, Alan? Where are you going to be on Saturday, for example? Are you in the same seat every game now at home?
Yes, I moved. I had an altercation with a fellow fan.
They was
He's a bloody hooligan.
And it was all over. My mate, who I used to sit next to, died, and so I was not going to keep the two seats anyway, and I'd had a bust up with this bloke, so I moved into the main stand, and I sit on the second row in block B, which is about level with the edge of the penalty area at the railway end, and I have to sit looking over Mr. Pedersen's head every week, thinking, why don't you get closer to that bloke on the wing? And so that's why I know so much about his game, because he's I can smell him from where I sit.
Lovely. Steve Portman says Gold and Sullivan should be held responsible for the state of the stadium.
Yeah,
somebody should. Somebody should. Now, hang on. Because hang on. What about, we've got architects, right? You've got project managers. Yeah? You've got the people that are actually building the thing. Somebody must have known that this was going to go wrong. Huh?
How the wood drums, Nick.
How many other stadia, I don't like that word, stadiums, I would prefer personally, but how many other stadiums up and down this country have deteriorated so much in such a short time?
No, Golden.
Birmingham.
You don't know yet.
Just the one thing, you've had all of lockdown for it to be realised.
Yeah.
Not only realised, Ollie, but repaired.
Yeah, exactly. All of lockdown, no one's in the ground. There's no reason for them. They can do checks on it here and there, but it's taken till after lockdown when fans are about to come back in for them to realise, it's got to be closed.
And the season money was taken.
I suspect that they knew before that. The problem was that they.
Why wasn't nothing done?
Well, the only thing I can think of is, in order to fix it, they would have had to encroach onto the pitch. They would have all sorts of things on the pitch. Well, although we were empty, we were still playing, and that's the only excuse I can think
Alan,
of.
we could have gone and hired Rico.
Yeah.
For a short time.
Yeah.
Get it done. Get in there. Get it done. Get it open. And in the meantime, you know what? You borrowed ours. We'll borrow yours.
There's still time. I've got this strange feeling it won't be long before we are there.
Yeah, but I was just saying as well, when you said things would have to go on the pitch for it to be built, that would be the same case now in that sense.
Yes.
So
there's
there's no real excuse of why it wasn't like either noticed or started to be fixed throughout lockdown when no one was there.
I'd love to know the timeline of all this and the safety officer and minutes of meetings and one thing or another, because you are denying us our experience week after week after week after week. Yeah. You're denying us what we work for all week.
You've got long-standing relationships there as well, haven't you? Like, people have been sat together next to each other for years.
Yeah.
No, they can't, and people will just start losing interest if it goes on much longer.
That's the
Paul,
thing. People turn their back.
Sorry, Mark. Paul, can I tell you something? Right? And you know how passionate I am. You've known that over. You can look back at any of these shows over the last 11 years, right, to know how passionate I am. Right? I'm losing interest.
I think I would have done by now as well if my seat hadn't become available again. I was starting to lose interest in like the half a dozen games that I wasn't sat there. So it's just not sat. It's not just
Friday night, right? Okay, Friday night, and away against Derby, my favourite away day of the year, right? When the scum ain't in our league, right? And I'm that. Well, you know what? I'll watch it on the telly.
Yeah.
Sad. Very sad. So very sad. Yeah. For somebody, who was stood there only about a quarter of the time that Linda's been alive, right? And to be so passionate and to be so like, everything has been my football club. My life is my football club, right? Change wives, change cars, change houses. The blues is the blues, mate, and that's it. But can I say this, right? I'm genuinely losing interest.
What changed your mind, Nick? What would change your mind, Nick?
Get the stands open, right? Give the fans a gesture once they open those stands, right? Long-standing supporters, you know what? We're going to do this one for free, guys. We're sorry. We'll do this one for free. And not only that, you can also have a free burger. All right? Put the burger vans back around the streets. I saw a comment about that earlier. No, I know, Chris, that people laugh at that. But it's part of the day out. It's part of your experience.
I agree.
Yeah?
I agree.
And be transparent, be honest, be open, involve the fans in the running of the club, not making decisions, because that's not our responsibility, that's yours, but understanding how football fans feel about their football club. Yeah? And then to give Lee Bowyer the free reins to do what he needs to do.
I've seen some calls on Twitter as well, which just blows my mind for people calling Bowyer out.
Oliver,
Oliver,
and I'll call him out now. Nothing but a numpty. What an absolute numpty.
Because there's been
go on, mate.
There's been consistencies, right? Because you've had past 7 years, 2 good seasons in like the Monk Rowett era, where we're pushing top half, but then since then, we finished 17th, 18th consistently. So it's not the managers, it's not the players, because different managers have come in and the same outcomes happened.
Same outcome,
yeah.
So you need to look higher up as to where the problem is, and that's what I don't think some fans understand.
Well, I think we're looking as high as we can, and as high as it gets in the country is the king.
Just a quick one regarding the stadium and state of it. Paul Bryant just give us a question and an answer, I suppose. Really, this is hold on. State of the stadium before Gold and Sullivan was like a giant toilet.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow.
Bloody, but it was. I mean, we didn't. We didn't get toilet paper till 1996.
No, it was your programme. That's what you bought, a programme.
I mean, personally, Sullivan and the Colts have been gone for 30 years, so really it's all about the quality control, isn't it? Making sure that they're maintaining it and doing what they should be to make it safe and fit for purpose.
Yeah.
If it was that bad, when Sullivan and the Golds were there, it would have happened. This would have happened a lot sooner than now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
regulations have changed now, haven't they?
You know what? I used to go to Sunday school as a small child, right? And used to sing that song about building the house upon the sand and building the house upon the rocks.
No, don't know.
Who builds?
Well,
who builds a football stadium on rubble? Ridiculous.
Exactly.
Criminal. And do you know something else? Right, and this is more serious, yeah? What if that stadium actually fell down with 20,000 people in it?
Yeah.
What if it had actually crumbled, right? And the roof comes down. And I know I'm taking this to the nth limit, but what if?
Mind you, the roof almost did come off against Wolves a few years ago, didn't it?
Yeah. In the main stand.
Yeah, part of it came off, didn't it?
You can still see the patch, can't you?
It just needs to be reborn, doesn't it? It's a bit like a deteriorating relationship sort of thing, and it just needs a rebirth. It needs a reboot, doesn't it? And give the city such a massive lift and our fans.
The whole club, in every aspect, needs a lot of refresh, doesn't it? Like everywhere, like team, stadium, everything, board owners.
I think, Carl, we've got good people in place in the club that can take roles, the likes of Ian Dutton and Craig Gardner do what he's doing. And also Lee Bowyer as well. I
believe in Bowyer. I actually think he's the right man. I think he will take us forward. We just need to change things higher up.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, some of the passages of play. I mean, some of the passing moves the last few games. I mean, it's been unreal.
Derby, we look like Brazil.
Yeah.
There was that one passage of play, Derby.
Absolutely fantastic. I've seen it on the Shapebox quite a bit now. It keeps cropping up, Craig, regarding the fan-led review. I don't know if you want to tell us a bit more about this.
So, there's going to be more information coming out as well, because the Blues Trust have been working very closely with the FSA in regards to this. But in short, there was a fan-led review which has been driven by members of Parliament, and that review was designed to say, what if you were running a club, if you were again wanting the information, what would you want? How would you want to be involved? But also, it's been designed to enable that level of, I suppose, transparency that we've heard a lot about tonight. So, for example, the fan-led review states, when it's in place, one of the first things that has to happen is a club has to be open, clear and concise around its ownership. And that will mean, so for example, at Birmingham, that will mean that those names, Mr. King coming up all the time, those names have to be divulged. They have to be given. Otherwise, it will be in breach of what's there. Now, the fan-led review, as Chris mentioned, has been mentioned numerous times, especially today on social media after Daniel's latest blog and the fact that the Member of Parliament that he spoke to has actually mentioned this. And I think, just as a guide, it's worth looking around this fan-led review, because I really believe from reading into more of it that this is going to help us, and it's going to help us build on what's already started with the demonstrations. It also also gives that ability for fans to be part of the club in a way that's never been seen before, apart from Chelsea at the moment. And Chelsea do it already. And that's that during board meetings and management meetings at the club, fans are there to represent the fans. So they go and they actually have a say. If those things, you know, and there's a lot still to go. There's a lot still to go on with it. However, worth noting that I believe by the time we get to March time, they are going to be lobbying for this to go through the Houses of Parliament to become a full fixture. And as Birmingham are in this position at the moment and are actually listed as a club that haven't been run very well, we're front and centre. We're actually one of the leading groups.
Yeah.
The Blues Trust are massively involved with this.
They have been for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah. So this could help. But the thing that I would say is, at the moment, read up on it.
Yeah.
There's information out there on it. Have a look.
So in simple terms, what's being drawn up is a guideline that clubs must and have to follow. That's the idea.
Is this from government, Chris?
It will be. It's government driven at the moment.
Is it from government or from the EFL and Premier League?
No, it's from government.
Right. Okay.
So we've got Boris Johnson directing our owners.
Let's all have a disco.
but in simple terms, that's what the plan is, to have these guidelines that every club must adhere to. Is that what it is, Craig?
It is indeed. And it's going to be, it could be really powerful. There's still, like I say, though, it's far from rubber stamped and there's a lot of work still going on, but it's worth just investing the time to have a read at what's come out so far, because it is incredibly interesting. And if it does do, as that advert says, what it says on the tin, then boy, is it going to be different, not just for us, but every single football club in this country.
Excellent. Craig,
sounds good.
Craig, wrong, coming on that one, right? Fan power is massive.
Yeah.
But fan power, doing what we're doing at the moment, faceless masks, a little protest, a march, is bigger than any element of violence. Any. Because the moment you descend into that, right, will be the moment the press will be all over you.
Yeah, it's the moment it gets...
It loses the power once you turn to that.
Can I just say, there's a great comment here from Tim Andrews. A good CEO would implement a system whereby every stakeholder... Firstly, the fans and fan groups, with or without the fan-led review initiative.
I agree.
Here, Tim, will you please be our CEO? Lots of love, every Birmingham City fan.
Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't need it, but unfortunately, we do.
We desperately need, Paul, you're right, we desperately need a CEO, but not just any old CEO. It's got to be somebody that knows football.
Not Mr. Queen.
At the moment, knows the club.
Like Tim.
They've got to know the club. And
like Tim.
Tim, you know, Tim, we know you're listening, but mate, we would love you to do it. And there's lots of people that would back you out there.
Come on, Tim.
No pressure, Tim. No pressure.
Tim. I've just heard as well, there'll be another fan meeting at the club with the press in a couple of weeks' time, early March. Okay. There you go. I don't think we'll get invited.
If we do, Chris, I'd love to make representation.
Oh no, you can go.
I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care. I've got a voice and I can use it. Yeah, and I've been blessed with that.
In fact, you and Paul can go.
Tim's saying he's not. LOL.
He's not what?
He's just put, I'm not sure, with an LOL on the end of our...
He is, don't you worry, worry.
So that, watch this.
That's a yes.
Is not a no. It is not a no, ladies and gents, girls and boys.
We all know.
CEO.
We all know.
Yeah. So, Carl, hit up your website to everybody and stuff in case anyone wants to get
Oh, yeah.
My website is Lovintage Footy, spelled LO, Vintage Footy, footyty.co.uk, and then I'm on Instagram Facebook and Twitter. So if you give us a follow on there.
Sorry, was that LA Vintage?
Hello, Vintage. Hello, Vintage. Footy. And Footy, TY. About that way.
I've had a look. I've got it. Yeah, he's got some fantastic stuff on there. I've had a look.
Awesome, honestly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's I tried to do a post today. I'm currently prepping for the World Cup. Like, I'm getting loads of England shirts in, so all the originals from the 90s, late 80s. So I'm trying to get a big range for the World Cup in Qatar at the moment. So
do you get a few old players involved, Carl? Do you get you said Troy brought some the other day. Do you get any others?
Well, I'm hoping to meet a couple more this year. Obviously, Troy loved seeing all the tops when I was out, when they were all out. He had like 4 tops off me in the end. And
which one did he get?
He got the paint one. The paint.
Customer confidentiality.
He had the Graham White auto windscreens. And he had, the Tesco carrier bag one, Paul?
Yeah.
The red. He had the red and white one in that, and I can't remember the last one he had.
So, Carl, where's your store? Where do you put your store?
I've got a little unit. Well, it's my mate's unit, and basically, it's got a little stock room, so they're all mounted up in there at the moment. But at the moment, it's getting a bit full, so I'm looking to find somewhere else.
Sell something.
Stash them on. Yeah.
Why is it you don't? Why is it you don't approach the club and ask them if you can have a store like say outside the ticket?
Oh, of course they will. Yeah.
They did approach me, and I had a stall at Christmas a couple of weeks before Christmas. Paul was down there, and I had all my blues tops out. So I sold 34 tops that day, and it was good to meet all the fans. I had a few programs, because obviously as a kid I used to go home and away religiously. And I've had that many programs in my loft. I've just started to offload them because they're just sitting in my loft. So
I took them down as well. One of mine, mate. I promise you, not one of mine. I could not get rid of one. Every single program that I bought,
it's one thing that won't keep.
I'll hold it, and there's a memory in there, right?
Yeah.
Right? So no. My programs, when I demise from this mortal coil, will be passed down to my children.
Yeah.
Craig, Carl.
Sorry.
I know. Sorry, I've got a good one.
Sorry, Carl will be passed down to the highest bidder of my
Get your priorities right. Carl, is there a holy grail of t-shirt? Is there something you've thought, I really want this, but I'm probably never going to get it?
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, it's different shirt, different meaning to different people, isn't it? Really, a lot of people like the Carling Cup shirt because obviously we won the cup. So shirts like that can mean a lot to people, but some people have different ones. My one was my birth year, so 1993. And
I think the shirt for me that would be worth the most money ever would be the Paul Tate one, and he doesn't know where it is. He hasn't got a clue where it is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if that was ever discovered, that is so iconic and so unique.
Nick, is it not framed in his house?
No, he hasn't got it.
He has.
He hasn't.
I thought he had it on his wall.
No, he said he hasn't got it.
No, he has. He had it framed.
Yeah, he's got it back. Yeah. Oh right. Yeah. You're getting mixed up with Darren Carter, right? Yeah.
I'm lying.
Oh God, he's had another shirt that has like.
Darren Carter.
Into the last 15 minutes we go, lovelies, and Craig Courtney had spare ribs for dinner. So anything to do with the Chinese restaurant, anything to do with the
my life, we're going to get slaughtered for this. Oh my God. Oh no.
Was it Pat Rice? He was a player, wasn't he, Chris? Pat Rice.
We've already had one.
Oh dear. And he's chicken curry and doy.
Can we change it? Right, does Carl do worldwide football shirts?
Well, I did start off just UK, but now I've started getting Italian league, a few from the Spanish league. So I am branching out to worldwide. But it was originally just UK. It started the Blues, and then it's just getting bigger and bigger. So obviously I'm getting more customers now, so I kind of have to have a broader range of stock. Like.
You could
okay, so we've got Barry fried rice, Bernard's son, Dilly had a bowl of curry. Dilly had a bowl of curry.
Oh. You used to sing that too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Good one. Got a winner already. For that.
Carson Poo Young, Nani bread. Tony Curry. He had a bowl of curry. That is an iconic moment in my life.
This one's better. Dealey had a bowl of prawn crackers.
Paul had one chop soy. You've had the lot of you.
Craig, we have got some fantastic guests coming up in the next few weeks, haven't we? Explain away, mate.
So, we asked you, didn't we, before Christmas, all the listeners, who they would like to see, and a couple of names came up all the time, and it's, funnily enough, the original Crazy Gang meeting the new Crazy Gang, I guess, in Oslo. But so next week, just for the ladies, a Valentine's special with the one and only Mick Hartford. Now, that show could be one of two ways, couldn't it? Because we're actually playing Luton the weekend, so see what happens. And then the following week, the other hard man from the Crazy Gang in Noel Blake will be joining us. So on the 21st,
brilliant.
Well,
you know what, Craig? I'll tell you what, mate. You do such an amazing job behind the scenes, and it is all down to you that we get such brilliant guests in. Right? Don't matter whether
big shout to Mr. Hipkiss. He's put me in touch with quite a few recently, and
oh yeah, well done, Paul.
Yeah, he has his uses.
You've just had the clap off the Tilton Talk Show.
Thanks, Nick.
Anytime. Chezwan Don Ring. Okay, come on. Anything to do with the Chinese restaurant, girls and boys? Come on, you can do better than this. But I do love Dilly had a bowl of curry. I don't know how these people minds work, Chris. I'll go
Shopper Sticks. Linda Magnus says, "Wow."
What about beef and green peppers in a black brine sauce?
Oh,
yes.
You have really looked at that menu under your table, haven't you?
I've did that loads before.
Can I have Frank barbecue ribbery?
What about you, Cole? You got any?
Can't think off the top of my head, mate. Come back to you on that.
I'm not clever enough for you. You, Oliver?
Not a clue.
No, you got a clue.
Not a clue.
No, you got a clue.
Right.
George
What about feed the sauce?
Feed the sauce.
Scraping the barrel, Mark. Scraping the barrel.
Oh no.
Scraping the wok.
The curry barrel. Got to say thank you to Linda Magna as well. She's our top star sender. You know, because you can send stars to us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Linda. Bless you. Lots of love. And
Can I just give a shout out from the weekend? For those people that came along to watch the Blues ladies.
Yeah, good.
Shame the result, to be honest, and good topic of conversation at the beginning of the show with the refereeing, because believe me, I was there, and the standard of refereeing was as bad, if not worse, for the ladies.
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a gentleman.
There you go.
And I've got to say, we see it in our game, right? You give a penalty away, you see it in our game, and 99% of the time, penalty, yellow card. This was penalty, straight red, and never in a million years was it justified. Had that have not been given, then perhaps the result would have been different on the day, because in the second half, those 10 ladies out on the pitch were so good. Really
can we blame the AFL? Blame them?
I think we should. I saw people blaming the owners as well, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, blame the AFL. Maybe can as well.
Of course we can. We've got a few more coming in, Chris. Egg fried decorative rice.
That's a good one.
Crispy fried rice. Water chestnut pandiani. 40 tests. Oh, brilliant.
Egg fried Declan Rice.
What about Quinton Fortune Cookie?
Yeah.
Very good. I like
Yeah, can have that
What
one.
about the old Coventry defender Trevor Peking Duck?
Oh.
Adam BCFC Walsh says, let's get Michael Forsell on. We'd love to get him on, wouldn't we, Craig? We'd love to get Michael Forsell on.
Peter fried in a panu. That's right on there. Who was that? Violet Stone. Well done. Oh my God. Tottenham Pot and Sour.
Lindsay's just said the goalie that stepped in yesterday was only 16, Craig.
16, she was indeed. She made
I heard about it, yeah. 16.
made her debut. I really felt for her. She come onto the pitch and the first thing she did was pick the ball out the back of the net. And
Oh my
nothing
life.
worse.
I would have thrown up. That would have been the first thing I'd done. Poor girl.
We've got check and soy.
Oh, that's a clever one. That is
Brilliant.
I like that.
I'm still favourites. I think of Dealey Edible.
It's good. That is, yeah. I think those.
Just coming back onto Carl for a second. What are the ambitions? What are the ambitions for vintage football?
Yeah.
Want to open a shop, or would you want it to grow massively?
At the moment, I am content with just like the online store. I'm going to do a couple more markets this year. I spoke to the Blues already. They're on about me coming back down to the Blues to do another market.
Good.
Yeah, so I'll let you know if this
So
year.
where do you do it? Do you do it in the Cop? Do you?
Yeah, I done it on the car park.
Oh, right,
the last
okay.
one I done, and there was a few other stores there. Like there was food there, some beer. And yeah, it was a good day, to be honest. And they did say to me they was looking to do a couple more of them next year. So when they get in touch, I'll release details of when it'll be, and hopefully I'll have even more blue shirts to sell. Because the Blues fans literally wiped me out that day. I took about 50 tops, and like I come home with about 16 tops, I think it was. So there was a lot.
Excellent.
A lot of happy Blues fans going home. So next time I'm going to try double what I take, and I'll see what happens.
Did you do
it? Obviously,
did you do right till kickoff, Carl?
Yeah, and I done it 12 till 3 o'clock, and then I sorted me 3 tickets, and then come out and went straight home because we drew 2-2 that day. We went 2-0 up. I think Fordini scored. I can't remember. I think we had Cardiff. Was it 2-1? Yeah, it was 2-0 up. Yeah, 2-0 up. And we ended up drawing 2-2, which was disappointing. But 12 till 3 it was. It was a good day. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Nick,
going forward, I would like a shop eventually, but for now, I think it's just an online store. But never say never.
No, never say never. You never know. The Blues might win the Premier League one day. Okay, so we've got Graham Chop Soonis, Karen Stir Fry, Rice West Ham, lol, Hotter Vindaloo. What Madsen? I love it. I'm loving this. Well, Adam BCF Walsh. Right. Why is the show ending at the end of the season?
Why is the show ending? I think 11 years is a good run. I think
it is.
I don't think we can do much more.
12 years is a better run.
I know. But I think a couple of weeks ago, I had quite a lot of abuse on Twitter and so forth, and I ended up blocking well over 20 people, and it didn't affect my mental side. I just thought, this is ridiculous. Is it really worth this hassle? Is it really worth it? And that's why I thought, well, maybe 11 years. We've had a great run. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've still got a lot of shows to go.
Ladies and gents, don't think that this man that you're looking at now, Chris Browne, right, who for me is
ugly.
I couldn't think of the word, Chris. I couldn't think of the word. He has been an absolute inspiration to me over the last 11 years, right? From the time when we had a plastic microphone and his cat used to just gouge its claws into my beard. I'm glad that thing's dead. To times like now, you came to my 60th birthday party, and he's going to be my best man in June or July, I can't remember.
That's a good start.
And but you know what? This man is full of compassion. He's full of pride, and pride's a big thing. And he's full of love for other people. And this man has done so much to help the community of Birmingham, not just football fans. Homeless people, all the things that we've done, Chris, together. I would hate to see you jack this in for idiots, I promise you. Well, that's me saying that, right? This is your decision, mate. It is your decision.
I've got to say thanks. I've had, crikey, probably well over 100 messages and stuff and that, like, you know.
I sent them all.
And I know, probably did, yeah. And you know, and I mean, it probably was a bit of a spur of the moment thing, and I'll probably have a think in the summer. But
right, have a think in the summer. You're going to go up there, and we're going to get rather drunk together, right? And then, do you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I can almost promise you that come next August, we will be back here, because this is our lives. This is what we do. This is an extension of going to Birmingham City Football Club. Is talking about the Blues, is interacting with the people, is being a part of you being a part of us, and us creating something absolutely amazing out of literally nothing. Out of nothing. 11 years ago, this didn't exist, yeah? 11 years later, look at it. Highest audience ever, ladies and gentlemen, 97,600. Okay? We go around the world and to Warrington. We'll never, ever disrespect Warrington. And it's never been about us, right? I know that man in front of you has never been paid a penny for doing this, right? You take 11 years, right? And bear in mind we went through all lockdown. How much money this must cost this guy, yeah? To give up part of his house, to build a very professional studio with very professional equipment, and like to me, 20 quid in petrol every single Monday usually, and the time that I give for Paul, the time that he dedicates to it, Mark, there's been other people, even Mr. Fun when he was with us, yeah? Everybody that's been a part of it has been a part of it because they wanted to, right? They wanted to. Not because they've been made to or cajoled, and the work that Craig does behind the scenes, getting our guests in, and yourself as well, suggesting these names and giving information of telephone numbers. We've had Marcello on. We had Marcello on. Right?
In his car.
Craig, in his car. In his car. That's iconic. That's iconic. We signed Alex Song.
Oh God, what a show that was.
Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls that are out there, and I'm not looking at the chat box, if you don't want this to end, please send a private message to Chris.
I think you said send money.
Can I say as a viewer rather than being part of this, how it was like living where I do. And I've got friends down here who are interested in football. But I don't want to talk about Tottenham. I don't want to talk about Arsenal. I want to talk about Birmingham City. And you people threw me a lifeline. And I sat here diligently every Monday night just to hear what was going on, some Blues chat. And I'd sit there and I'd think, oh, he's talking through his backside, you know, that's not right. And blah, blah, blah. And
you're talking about Paul.
Wonderful. A couple of hours every week. And I got me Blues chat, and it was like, you know, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm sure there are loads of people like myself who live anywhere else but Birmingham who feel the same way. You know, you live in Staffordshire, don't you? And you know, I bet you have plenty of chats about Stoke City and whoever. But it ain't
It's all around me.
Talking
It's
about
like a
your
disease. It's like a disease, Alan. It's all around me, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are blue noses here, and I see them in the pubs, and I see them in the streets, and they go, you know what you do is absolute. It's not what I do. It's what the people do, Alan. It's what the people... Do you know, by pushing them buttons and listening to what us daft beggars have got to say, because we're all just normal people. And you know what? We've got Mark sat there in a robe every week. We've got Paul sat there with his shiny head every week. We've got Alan, who's the chairman of the board. We've got Chris, who fixes Mrs. Browne. This is just the maddest, happiest, best thing I have ever done in my 60 years of life. And I don't know if anyone had told you before, but I was born on Christmas.
Really? You weren't a carpenter, were you?
Well, you know, yeah.
Oh God! All the messages are coming through now. Thanks,
I know,
Nick.
Chris, and I tell you what, Chris. Right, once this season's over, right, you, me, and the rest of the team, Paul, Mark, Alan, Craig, Adam Wilkes, Dennis, everybody, right? We need to sit down and we need to go and have a curry, and you need to pay for it. Oh man! And you know what? I sit here on a Monday night, and it's 9:05. For the last 15 minutes, I laughed
wetting
my
myself
socks
here.
off. Well, you've got a bucket under the chair, don't you?
No, I haven't got it tonight.
Oh right, okay. Stays on the carpet. It is then.
It's got a leak.
It is honestly, for me personally, right, the best thing that I've ever done in my life, without a doubt. And I've never, in 11 years, taken 1 pence payment. I've had wasabi peas. That's it. Wasabi peas. And if you've never tasted wasabi peas, get your backside down to Tesco's tomorrow and buy a packet. They're disgusting. Well, we've got to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen.
We have,
Talk
yeah.
Show, sponsored by M&A.Reilly French Polishers, of course, the Garrison Coffee Company, and Image Cleaning. Paul Hipkiss, an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
And Boylesports.
Boylesports, yeah. Oh, yeah. How did I manage to forget something?
Our main sponsor.
Paul Hipkiss, an absolute pleasure to be with you tonight, mate. Great to see you. And that shirt looks absolutely stunning on you all. Well done, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, pleasure as always. And if this is the last season, it has been a pleasure to be part of it for the last nearly 4 years myself. And you know, I think certainly during the first lockdown, you know, it was when there was no football at all.
That's what made us, Paul. That's what made us.
You know, from my point of view, it's nice to know that, you know, how much of a difference it made to others, not just to us, but to our fan base out there as well, and our viewers.
Bless them. Everybody, God bless you and all. Yeah. Mark Adams, wow. Great to have you with your robe on again tonight. A guy who turns up in a bathrobe, ladies and gents.
I am wearing something underneath it.
I don't know. We don't know that.
No, just everyone have a great week. And I'm actually echoing what Paul said, really. This just has been the best roller coaster ride on a Monday night.
And it is the roller coaster, isn't it, Mark, every week?
Yeah. It's like being in one through the cookies nest.
Yeah. Do you know what? We should make a TV series out of this. You know, we really should. And great thanks to Carl Matthews, our guy who has 1,000,001 shirts. And once more,
no, it's been a pleasure. Mate. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure to you to come out. Come back again one day.
Yeah, I will.
And a special
100%.
Nick, and a special thanks to our guest in the studio as well, young Oliver.
Chris, you know what? I'd come on. Oliver Bohemia. Thank you, mate. I tell you what, you've got quite a good voice for radio. I don't know what your face looks like, but you've got quite a good voice for radio.
He has
mate.
a few people commenting there.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's got your mic, though. He's got your mic.
I have. I've stolen it, mate.
That's why, then, isn't it? Yeah. Listen, it took me 11 years to get that chair, son. Chairman of the board, Mr. Alan Watton.
Hi.
Bye.
And from myself, good night. God bless. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. But the show always belongs to you. This is good night. Keep right on.
No more bust-ups, Alan.